Kiss me with the kisses of your lips, for your love is better than wine. These words echo the beauty and depth of God's love. His love is like wine poured into our hearts, intoxicating, consuming, and transformative. It fills our minds, moves us, restrains us, and even takes control of us in the best way possible. Paul understood this when he said, "The love of God restrains me." God's love is a wine that intoxicates the heart so deeply that it expels every ill emotion. It leaves no room for bitterness, hatred, or unforgiveness. Instead, it consumes the heart with its purity and strength, making us capable of loving even those who hate or harm us. To the natural mind, this doesn't make sense. How can someone love those who mistreat them? How can you offer love in response to abuse or hatred? Yet this is the kind of love Jesus demonstrated. Jesus taught from this standpoint of love when he said, "If someone slaps you on the cheek, turn the other cheek also. If someone forces you to carry their burden for 1 mile, go with them too." This radical love defies human logic. It empowers us to love our abusers, not as a sign of weakness, but as an act of freedom. When your heart is intoxicated by God's love, you find yourself free from the chains of bitterness and pain. You're no longer consumed by the hurt inflicted by others. Instead, your heart is filled with such love that you can even care for the well-being of those who harm you. This kind of love brings true freedom from abuse because it shifts your focus from the offense to the one who loves you unconditionally. Have you struggled with unforgiveness? Do you find yourself revisiting pain caused by others? Perhaps an event left you wounded and unable to move forward. Take that hurt to God. Ask Him to fill your heart with His love. When God pours His love into your heart, you begin to understand how Jesus could forgive those who nailed Him to the cross. Imagine this: Jesus, hanging on the cross, in unimaginable agony, looked at the very people who mocked Him, beat Him, and nailed Him to that tree. And yet He prayed, "Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing." This is the love of God. A love so powerful that it reaches beyond pain and seeks the good of even the most undeserving. In that moment of divine love, you'll begin to see how much grace you have already received. You'll realize there is no offense on earth so great that it outweighs the mercy God has shown you. You'll find your heart softening, your spirit lightening, and your perspective shifting. When God calls us to forgive, He doesn't ask us to carry a heavy burden. He doesn't call us to something that will leave us feeling disadvantaged or weak. Instead, He invites us into freedom. He assures us that His yoke is easy and His burden is light. Forgiveness isn't about losing, it's about gaining the fullness of His love. In God's sufficiency, He can fill your heart with a love that makes forgiveness not only possible but joyful. This love doesn't make sense to the natural mind, but to the heart filled with God, it becomes the only response that truly makes sense. Remember, we are recipients of so much grace. We've seen it, touched it, and experienced it firsthand. God has lavished His mercy upon us, and when we truly grasp this, it changes everything. We no longer see offenses as insurmountable. Instead, we see them through the lens of God's mercy and love. This divine love lifts our eyes beyond the natural. It helps us see the bigger picture, the ultimate purpose of humanity in God's plan. One day, under the millennial rule of Christ, this love will fill every heart, and humanity will walk in perfect harmony with God and one another. Until that day, we are called to live in this love now. Pray to God and ask Him to fill your heart with His love. When you feel tempted to withhold love or harbor bitterness, pray again. God's love is limitless, and He is ever ready to fill your heart anew. Drink deeply from the well of His love. Allow it to intoxicate your heart, transforming your pain into peace and your hurt into healing. In His love, you'll find strength, joy, and true freedom. God bless you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel to have access to more inspiring videos like this.